Hello Primary 7, it's me. I hope you're all enjoying learning about Antarctica this week. I'm down here in the water, it seems. I'm not really, I'm at home, don't worry, I'm fine. Now, I know we've been doing some maths around the climate in the Antarctic, but did you know it can get down to minus 60 degrees Celsius right in the middle of the South Pole? That's really, really, really cold, especially at the moment when we're having the hottest summer ever. It makes me feel quite chilly just thinking about it. Now, Antarctica is a continent. It's only got roughly 58 people on it at any one time. And yet, did you know that people claim to own bits of Antarctica? There's a wee pie chart here, like a graph, showing you who claims to own what parts of Antarctica. And can you think, why these countries? Why does Australia have such a big chunk? New Zealand's got a bit of a chunk, but then you've got massive countries like America, the United States of America and China. They don't have a claim. Why is that? Well, it's actually all to do with something called maritime law. That means like the law of the sea. And you'll notice then that it's countries that have got a firm route towards Antarctica that get to claim it. So you'll see that Australia has got all this chunk of land over here. I think it's difficult as well because we have to remember that this map is flat, but actually the globe is round. Whereas you've got Argentina here getting a claim and Chile getting a claim. And then you might wonder, well, how do Norway, Britain and France have a claim? Well, remember that Britain, France and Norway were colonial powers and that they actually still reign over a few countries in the Pacific. We've seen that. And over in the Caribbean too, which have a route through to the Antarctic. Now, the great thing about the Antarctic is it has been shared for over 60 years, and it means that countries all around the world work together, and a lot of scientific discoveries have been made in the Antarctic. NASA as well have been doing quite a bit of work down there because we imagine that lots of planets are very, very cold, so it's a great place to test things. However, there are some pressing issues at the moment. One of them is oil. Antarctica is said to have enough oil to fill about 203 billion barrels worth. And as we know, lots and lots of things in the world run on oil, from cars to trains to even the fuel that you have in your home. And as oil fields around the world are drying up, in Scotland we know ours are drying up, some feel the Antarctic should be opened up to allow these companies to go and drill so we can still have petrol for our cars. I guess the flip side of that is it's a fossil fuel. Is it environmentally friendly? Should we be looking towards electric vehicles? You can decide that yourself. Fishing as well. Fishing around the Antarctic waters is heavily regulated. That means that there's very strict laws about what you can fish and what you can't fish. However, as stocks of fish are depleting all over the country, all over the world, some fishermen have been saying, well, we should be allowed to go and fish around the Antarctic, so long as we do it sustainably and we're not, taking too many out of the water. Is that a possibility? Technology as well, whether it's like flying drones around the place or building massive wind farms to take advantage of the really chilly and strong winds in the Antarctic. There's been lots of discussion about what could be done there. There's lots to Google as well, lots of things about Wi-Fi and satellites. And so should that be something that we should be looking to use in the Antarctic? And finally, believe it or not, there is a massive market for tourism. About 38,000 tourists visited the Antarctic last year to see the ice, the glaciers, the huge gorges that are there, and also to try and glimpse the wildlife. And that's good. Maybe that money could be put back into the economy to raise awareness about global warming and that. Or are we contributing to global warming by sending people over there? And so before we move on to the actual task, I guess I've got 4 questions for you. There's my questioning face. Are there benefits that can be brought to the Antarctic region by the expansion of these industries? On the other hand, what negatives might arise with an increase in oil drilling and fishing and in technological testing and in bringing tourists over? What do you think should happen? And why do you think it should happen? And then finally, I guess the hardest question to answer is, How could we make it happen? And so, you might recognise this building. We've looked at it a couple of times. This is the UN. Now, this task, you're going to imagine that you are representing Scotland at the UN Summit on the Future of Antarctica, the SFA for short. You might know that SFA stands for something else. Anyway, and you might also guess that I made it up. It's just a task, okay? You must discuss all 4 issues that are currently being debated about human activity and art in Antarctica. And you need to draft a speech, because we're kind of looking at speech writing this week. So what would you say? This is your moment. What do you think is important? Do you think there's some things that we could do in the Antarctic? Do you think there's some things that are best left alone? So using the sentence starters at the side or your own, looking for you to draft a speech that you could give at the UN to represent Scotland. It should have a few paragraphs in it. I guess really there's 4 different issues: fishing, oil, tourism and technology. So I guess that's 4 kind of small paragraphs looking at the positives and the negatives. If there's no positives for one, that's fine. Just talk about the negatives. That's okay. But we're looking for you to justify what you're saying. I have concerns around because. It's my understanding that ... because. And then, of course, you need a final paragraph to conclude and bring it all together. So really, 5 paragraphs. It is quite a big bit of work. And that's why I'm only setting this one assignment for today. I can't wait to see what you come up with. You could record yourself speaking it, just like I've managed to do here. You can do it on PowerPoint. You could film yourself. If not, you can write it down. You could do it on Word. You could do it in your online jotter. You could do it in your jotter at home. You could type it up on your phone. Whatever way you want, that would be grand. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Feel free to go back through the slides and feel free to Google things as well. Good luck, and any questions, you know that I'm always on Teams willing to chat, okay? I'm lonely. Come and talk to me and Miss Campbell. We like to chat to you. Have a good day. Good luck.